Shalom Aleichem. So we're learning the Sicha Vayechi Beis. Interesting, the Sicha Vayechi Beis was originally published not as in depth without all the Maramakemis as well. Earlier, Chelik Sichas. Interesting, Chelik Sichas, about half the Sefer is a Sufis. A lot of Mugadik Sichas that make it into a Sufis. Almost for every single Parsha there's a Sicha. And at the end, there's a Sicha for Parshas Vayechi on page 459. And over there, the Rebbe has this fundamentally a similar Sicha, but more the farbrengen elements. And then there was the original farbrengen, out of which both of these Sichas came out. So let's learn some of the original farbrengen together. Rebbe explained over there the Inyan of Menashe and Ephraim, that there are two methods of how to serve Hashem in Galus. And the Rebbe said over there, you cannot compare the Maimon the Matzav, the situation of Reuven and Shimon that were born in Dalet Amos of Yaakov, to the Maimon the Matzav of Ephraim and Menashe that were born in Mitzrayim, even before Yaakov came. The Menashe, ki nashani elikim es kol amali ves kol beis avi, took me out of my father's home. It's a focus on my father's home. The Rebbe says the word es kol amali, amal, it's hard work, it's effort. Why? What's he using the word nashani elikim es kol amali? Because by a yid, loy merubchem chashek Hashem b'chem. Parshas Veschanan, Hashem didn't choose us because we're the biggest. Atem ha'ma'at mikolam, we're the smallest. And therefore we need an incredible amount of effort to produce what we need to produce. So Hashem took me away from all my effort in my Beis Avi. And that is focusing on the tshuka, the kesher, to the Beis Avi. And Ephraim is Ephraim Yelikim Be'eretz Ani, focusing on the incredible plus that happens through coming down into Eretz Ani. And the reason that Menashe was the Bechor, and nevertheless there's a Mile in Ephraim, is because the Tachlis HaMechuven, the intention is the Yisarin that comes through the Yerida Be'eretz Ani. However, the Avodah, B'Poyel, U'B'Galui, how do you have the Koyach to do the Avodah? And how do you do the Avodah? It's by focusing on the Beis Avi, where you come from. Sur Meirah, which comes before Asei Toiv, or Skafia that comes before Sabcha. And this has to be by every single Yid. And the Rebbe said, we know that the general idea of Yididus and the Shema Baguf is similar to going down to Mitzrayim. And therefore, because you have to break out of that. So over there, you always have to have the Zikarin of Beis Avi. The Rebbe said by the farbrengen. Not only do you have to remember the Beis Avi, you have to remind another Yid of the Beis Avi. Because we have the mitzvah of P'tur Devu, the first mitzvah in the Torah. And what's the mitzvah of P'tur Devu b'Ruchnius? As medaf machin nachayid, you have to get another Yid connected. That's the mitzvah Rishayna. Rishayna not only in time, but Rishayna b'Mailo Chshivas. The first mitzvah is P'tur Devu. And it's also achana to the Bias Mashiach, which is going to happen through our avodah in this world. Ein ben David ba ad sheyichlu kol neshamas b'guf. And spiritually, that means literally bringing another Yid in. Every neshama should be connected. So a Yid has to remind himself and the fellow Yid of Beis Avi, so that he shouldn't be nispal, shouldn't be worried or influenced, not only from the surrounding, but even from the kel zar sheyesh b'guf shel the gods, the false gods inside of us. And the Rebbe says zar daike, it's el zar, it's not you. It's not the person. Like the Alter Rebbe says in Perek Chav Ches, it's not you. Think of like the shik of the guy, the oil Russia that's standing and driving you crazy. It's not you. And then you get to the mile of the Yisar, the Yedida. Now, in the Chelik Hey version of the Sicha, as mentioned, it's a few different Nekudas. So one of the Nekudas that it talks about is When you're like similar to what we just said, but more about ichus. When you focus on the intention of galus, then Ephraim comes first. You have to know that the intention, the tzil and svek, the goal, the mission, the purpose of galus is Ephraim. But when a yid, when you're focusing on doing avodas Hashem in galus, in guf, and elam hazeh, you always have to focus on Menashe. So the bechira, the Geburishkeit, which is something that Rebbe more focuses on in this Sicha than in the Sicha that we learned. The bechira goes to Menashe. You can't start the avodah, you can't get to the avodah of Ephraim until you start off the right way. So Rebbe says like this. In avodah of Ephraim, Menashe, there's two kinds of yidden, there's two kinds of avodah. Menashe comes first. He's closer to Beis Avi. So that gives a Stufenweise, it gives a boost. Because you have to keep your head straight and stay away from everything wrong. Ephraim comes after. And then you get your official kavanah. That's when you achieve the kavanah. So Ephraim in Luchnistika goes on the first mitzvah through the boot. You should bring a nacha yiddish yid. Menashe reminds you who the tata is. But you can't stay by that. It's not enough. It has to come to Ephraim. In this bitter galus, that so many Yiddish kids are being lost, you have to come and remind them who their father is. And that connects the two. Debate a certain Yiddim, Menashe and Ephraim, Kiruvim v'Shimon Yuli. Together, these things will bring out the most incredible level of a Yid, the mile of Ephraim and the file of Menashe. It's a beautiful, beautiful Nakuda. Definitely lots of take-home messages. And in our Avodah, and I would say, if I could add, in a time where so many people go through so many challenges, hold on to Nashani, Pritim Tammuz, but Tachlis, Ephraim, Yolikim Be'eretz, you can't focus on the past. The impetus comes from Zechronis, from memories, from other people's stories, but ultimately, Ephraim Yolikim Be'eretz.